Good afternoon and Salam Malaysia Madani. This is Updates at Noon. I'm Nur Zamri. Making the headlines today, employers and foreign workers urged to avoid work permit forgery. Peru bus plunges off cliff, killing at least 24 people. Allocations to acquire new assets and efforts to enhance the capabilities of the agencies under the Home Ministry KDN will be known at the presentation of Budget 2023 next month. Home Minister Datuk Seri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail said discussions on the procurement of new assets have already been made with his ministry. He also said for KDN, acquiring assets is a continuous process that is being implemented from time to time, and it is not just something to be focused on for use during flood season only.
Untuk semua keadaan, ya, kalau APMM misalnya, aset bermaksud meningkatkan keupayaan pasukan bagi mengawal sempadan maritime. Kalau polis misalnya, keupayaan aset adalah untuk meningkatkan tugas hakiki, menjaga ketenteraman dan keselamatan awam.
Datuk Seri Saifuddin Nasution said this when asked whether there would be operational improvements for agencies under the Home Ministries, especially in tackling floods, which would involve acquisition of new assets to replace old and existing assets. Meanwhile, employers or foreign workers have been advised not to get involved with fake work permit syndicates, as various measures have been taken to facilitate foreign workers' recruitment in an effort to revive the country's economy. Datuk Seri Saifuddin Nasution said legal action can be taken if they are found dealing with the syndicate masterminded by Bangladeshis in Port Klang, which has been detected by authorities. The Immigration Department arrested 6 men, including 5 Bangladeshi nationals and a local woman, in several raids in Klang, Selangor. The syndicate is believed to have been operating for the past 7 or 8 months. The Home Minister said the application procedures are relaxed and simplified, and people should take advantage of the benefits offered to them. He said meetings were held with ambassadors from countries such as Indonesia, Bangladesh and Nepal to provide information and extend cooperation in order to explain things to prospective foreign workers to Malaysia.
Negara sumber ini kita minta kerjasama untuk menerangkan kepada rakyat negara mereka yang berhasrat untuk datang ke Malaysia dan bekerja. Patuh undang-undang, boleh mencari rezeki secara baik. Sektor ekonomi kita juga dibantu, elakkan sama sekali terlibat dengan sebarang pelakuan yang bercanggah dengan undang-undang.
Several new programs focusing on the development of youth leadership and non-association youth programs will be announced by the Youth and Sports Ministry in the near future. Its Deputy Minister Datuk Adli Abdul Halim said political and democratic literacy programs will also be expanded with help from other relevant ministries. Aside from developing new programs, the ministry will also be focusing on improving the existing programs to better suit the context and requirements of the current age.
Dalam masa dekat ini tentu sekali kita akan umumkan beberapa program-program baru yang kita rangka berdasarkan kepada keperluan dan juga berdasarkan kepada apa yang telah pun kita mulakan. Dengan kata lain, bukan kita mulakan terus dengan perkara baru yang tak ada asas, tapi kita mulakan dengan mana yang kita sudah pun ada asas dia yang sudah pun dimulakan, kita perbaiki dan kita tambah baik lagi supaya ianya seiring dengan zaman. Jadi kita akan beri tumpuan kepada terutama sekali pembangunan kepimpinan belia dan program-program belia tidak berpersatuan.
He said this after attending a Chinese New Year celebration event at Dewan Undangan Negeri Kesidang in Malim Jaya. The Ministry of Local Government Development KPKT will scrutinise every sick and abandoned housing project nationwide to ensure the welfare and rights of buyers are protected. Its Minister Nga Korming said KPKT has established a special team to monitor the projects involved.
Pasukan khas tersebut, Special Task Force, telah pun menubuhkan war room untuk monitor projek-projek sakit dan terbengkalai, dan kami akan mengambil langkah-langkah dan inisiatif untuk memastikan projek-projek yang sakit itu kita akan cuba nak selamatkan untuk memastikan kebajikan dan hak-hak pembeli rumah dijamin dan dijaga.
The ministry has detected as many as 550 sick and abandoned projects across the country thus far and are in the process of identifying problems with developers and contractors. He said this at a press conference of the handover of keys of Kepayang Ipoh residency units. KPKT aims to complete nearly 5,000 units of affordable housing in the span of 100 days. Gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS holds a major responsibility in helping the federal government restore the status of Malaysia as a tiger of Asia. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Fadilah Yusof said he is confident that GPS can shoulder its responsibility and duty with the help of GPS leaders and members all of the way to the grassroots level.
Jadi insyaAllah, kalau ingatan dengan tanggungjawab yang beratur, kerjasama, sokongan kuat daripada semua, insyaAllah kita akan mampu mengangkat nama GPS dalam kita melaksanakan amanah untuk memastikan kerja perpaduan itu akan dapat berjaya meletakkan Malaysia kembali kepada satu martabat, pada satu ketinggian duduk, dihormati sebagai the Tiger of Asia.
Datuk Seri Fadilah reminded all members of GPS to not be complacent with the landslide victory they obtained during the 15th general election. Instead, they must continue to work hard to provide the best service for the rakyat. He said this during an appreciation dinner at Petrajaya in Kuching. The Malaysian Meteorological Department Malaysia has issued a danger level continuous heavy rain warning for Pahang and Johor until tomorrow. In a statement, it informed that the district involved in Pahang is Rompin, while in Johor, Mersing and Kota Tinggi would be affected. A severe level continuous heavy rain warning has also been issued for Kelantan, Terengganu, Pahang and Johor until Monday. In Kelantan, the areas involved are Tumpat, Pasir Mas, Kota Baru, Bachok and Pasir Putih, and for Pahang, Kuantan and Pekan. While in Johor, Segamat, Kluang, Kulai and Johor Bahru. In addition, alert level continuous rain is expected to occur until Monday. This involves Jeli, Tanah Merah, Machang and Kuala Krai in Kelantan. In Pahang, it involves Jerantud and Maran. And for Johor, Tangkak, Mua, Batu Pahat and Pontian. Malaysia advised residents living in the aforementioned areas to be cautious and stay updated on the current weather warnings. Malaysia has condemned in its strongest term the armed attack at the Azerbaijan's embassy in Tehran on Friday, which led to one death and injured a few embassy staff. According to a Foreign Affairs Ministry statement, Malaysia reiterated its firm stance in rejecting any acts of violence and terrorism in all of its forms and calls for the perpetrators of the heinous attack to be swiftly brought to justice. It said Malaysia expressed its deepest condolences and sympathies to the victims and the families of the criminal act and to the government and the people of Azerbaijan. It added the Embassy of Malaysia in Tehran is closely monitoring the development and actively liaising with local authorities for the latest security update. An armed assailant stormed the embassy on Friday morning with an automatic weapon. The head of Embassy Security Services was killed, while 2 guards were injured in the incident that occurred around 8:30 a.m. local time. Security forces then immediately arrested the attacker. Coming up in our foreign segment, at least 3 dead in shooting near Beverly Hills. At least 24 people died yesterday when a bus carrying 60 passengers, including an unknown number of Haitians, plunged over a cliff in northwestern Peru. Police had earlier stated the toll in Piura province as 25 before correcting it to 24. According to police, the bus belonging to the Cuernica Tours company departed from Lima and was en route to Tumbes on the border of Ecuador when it went off the road near the town of Organos. Several passengers were thrown from the bus while others were trapped inside. Police at the scene told local media that the accident occurred at a difficult spot known as Devil's Curve. At the set, the cause remained under investigation. Peru's Transportation Supervisory Agency said early investigations showed the bus appeared to have an up-to-date safety inspection and accident insurance. An unknown number of injured passengers were transported to hospitals in El Alto and Mancora, popular resorts some 1,000 kilometers north of Lima. The police added that some passengers were from Haiti. The number of Haitian migrants in Peru has been increasing, though the situation of those on the bus remains unclear. Road accidents are relatively common in Peru, with many drivers operating vehicles on precarious roads and without proper training. At least 3 people were shot dead and 4 others injured at a luxury home near Beverly Hills at what US police describe as a gathering at a short-term rental property. Emergency services rushed to the swanky address in the Benedict Canyon area of Los Angeles overnight, where they found 3 people dead in a vehicle parked outside. 4 others were being treated in hospital, with 2 of them for critical injuries. The incident, which came on the heels of 2 mass shootings in California that claimed 18 lives, happened in an area nestled between Beverly Hills and Bel Air, where multi-million-dollar homes with lush landscaping enjoy stunning views of the Los Angeles skyline. Police said there was some kind of gathering at the location at the time of the shooting, and they were still trying to determine the nature of the gathering. Investigators were going door to door and looking for additional surveillance video or any evidence that can help them determine what happened and why the victims were shot. The incident comes after recent back-to-back mass shootings in California. A gunman killed 11 people in dance hall in Monterey Park near Los Angeles on 21st of January, and 7 people were shot dead in the coastal northern California city of Half Moon Bay 2 days later. The specialized police unit that included at least some of the Memphis officers involved in the fatal beatings of Tyree Nichols was disbanded as more protests were planned in US cities after harrowing video of the attack was released. The department said it was permanently deactivating the Scorpion unit after the police chief spoke with members of Nichols' family, community leaders and other officers. The unit, the Street Crimes Operation to Restore Peace in Our Neighborhoods, was formed in October 2021 to concentrate on crime hotspots. Video recordings from police body-worn cameras and a camera mounted on a utility pole showed Nichols, a 29-year-old black man, repeatedly calling for his mom as officers kicked, punched and struck him with a baton after a traffic stop. Even after the release of graphic video showing the beating, some key questions remain unanswered, mainly what caused Nichols to be stopped. The release of the clips on Friday sparked protests in Memphis and elsewhere and prompted numerous cities to prepare for additional demonstrations. 5 officers involved in the beating, all black, were charged on Thursday with murder, assault, kidnapping and other charges. All have been dismissed from the police department. The retired NATO General Petro Pavel defeated a billionaire former Prime Minister in an election runoff to become the 4th President of the Czech Republic. According to final results published by the Czech Statistical Office, Pavel, a former paratrooper, won 58.3% of votes, while Andrej Babiš scored 41.7%. The 61-year-old Pavel will in March replace President Milo Zeman, an outspoken and divisive politician who fostered close ties with Moscow before making a U-turn when Russia invaded Ukraine last year. Turnout in the EU and NATO member country of 10.5 million people was unusually high, topping 70% falling campaign mark by controversy. Babesh and his family have been targeted by death threats, while Pavel was the victim of a hoax claiming he was dead as disinformation plagued the final campaign. Pavel said he was ready to start tackling rifts in the society caused by the campaign, recent crises including the pandemic and the war in Ukraine, as well as amongst divisive politics. While the role is largely ceremonial, the Czech's president names the government, picks the central bank governor and the constitutional judges as serve as commander of the armed forces. Tens of thousands of public school teachers and staff march in Portuguese capital Lisbon to demand higher wages and better working conditions, putting further pressure on the Portuguese government. Police said about 80,000 protesters filled Lisbon streets. The Union of All Education Professionals demands that the government increases the wages of teachers and school workers by at least €120 a month and speeds up career progression.
Eu estou a lutar, primeiro, porque o respeito pelos professores foi perdido totalmente. Durante anos mantiveram-nos calados. Nós precisamos de melhores condições ao nível de salário.
Teachers complain that because of career freezes in the past, they are the lowest paid senior civil servants, which means their situation has worsened after a recent spike in inflation to a 30-year high. Teachers on the lowest pay scale are paid around €1,100 per month, and even those in the top band typically earns less than €2,000 monthly. Since early December, teachers and other staff across the country have been on strike, closing many schools and leaving students unable to attend classes. Spanish police announced the seizure of 4.5 tons of cocaine aboard a Togolese flag cargo ship from Latin America, which was intercepted off the Canary Islands. The Orion V, which transported cattle from Latin America to West Asia, had been under surveillance for over 2 years and had previously been searched, but no drugs could be found inside despite the presence of sufficient clues. A joint naval and air operation finally made the breakthrough, locating the cocaine on Tuesday, hidden in a container used to feed the cattle. The operation mobilized, among others, the American Drug Enforcement Administration, the Maritime Analysis and Operations Center for Narcotics, the Togolese authorities and the Spanish police. The 28 crew members from 9 countries were arrested. The Orion V was similar to another Togolese flag vessel, the Blub, which was intercepted in mid-January in the same area southeast of the Canary Islands, on which the same amount of cocaine was found. Police said a total of 9 tons of drugs have been seized in January. Spain's proximity to North Africa, a key source of hashish, and its close ties with former colonies in Latin America, the world's main cocaine-producing region, have made it to a gateway into Europe for drugs. Next in sports, Sri Lanka battles past River Kina to claim first slam singles title. A pall of gloom descended on the Malaysian badminton camp at the ongoing Indonesia Masters when top women's doubles pair Pioli Tan and Emtina crashed out in the semi-finals yesterday. The world's number 6 Malaysian suffered a second straight set semi-final heartbreak when they lost 14-21, 19-21 to Japan's world number 11 duo of Yuki Fukushima and Sayaka Hirota after a 51-minute battle at the Istora Senayan in Jakarta. Although the 3-time World Championship silver medalists controlled the first game, Pioli Tina did well to lead for the most part of the second game until 15-all, but failed to take the match into a rubber game. The 6-seeded Pioli Tina had earlier downed China's Li Wenmei and Liu Xuanshuan 21-10, 21-12 in the quarter-finals. Berita, the 2022 Birmingham Commonwealth Games gold medalists, have yet to win a title since their 2022 French Open success last October, having suffered a similar semi-final exit in last weekend's India's Open. Berita were country's sole survivors in the Indonesia's Masters after men's doubles pair Aaron Chia and So Woo Yik and mixed doubles pair Goh Sun Huat and Shavan Jamie Lai crushed out in the quarter-finals. The Wushu Federation of Malaysia has a more realistic target and is targeting only one gold medal at the 2023 Cambodia SEA Games. Its president, Datuk Chong Kim Fat, said the low target was set following the Wushu Federation of Asia introducing a new, more challenging competition format by combining two disciplines in the taller events. The combined Tolo disciplines are Taijuan, Taijian, Doshu Gongshu, Zhanshu Kiangshu and Nangdao Nangun for the men's and women's categories, with 14 gold medals on offer and 6 gold medals in the Sanda category.
Dia punya lagi mustahil lagi susah nak dapat kerana dia punya tekanan. Macam first you punya Qiansu you dapat 9.5, very almost the first. Tapi lagi satu Qiangsu, jika ada mistake koyak terus tak ada. Budak punya psikologi punya sangat penting. Ini adalah satu pertandingan yang can say really antarabangsa lah. Lagi tak macam senang. Macam satu event macam Changguan, dia siap, okey dia dapat champion.
Datuk Chong said the target is also lower than the medals won in Vietnam because there would be more new faces. However, he said with the possibility of world champion Wong Wen Sun being present, it would help the country pose a good challenge at the international level. At the 31st edition in Hanoi, the Malaysian Wushu exponents won 2 gold, a silver and 2 bronze, all of them in the Tolu events. Malaysian Hockey Confederation MHC Deputy President Professor Dato Dr. S. Shamala has resigned from the post effective Friday, citing health as the main reason for stepping down from the post that she had held since 2015. She also resigned as the Selangor Hockey Association Deputy President. Professor Datuk Dr. Shamala said it had been the highest honour in her life to serve the national hockey scene for over 2 decades in different capacities, including as the MHC Senior Vice President and Malaysian Women's Hockey Association Secretary. She explained that she was able to make the decision now since the MHC Executive Board term is from 2019 to 2023 and it is in the final year of completing this term. In a resignation letter that was posted on her Facebook page, Professor Dr. Shamala expressed her profound gratitude and apologised for any shortcomings to all the members of Malaysian hockey fraternity. She said she will cherish the journey that she had experienced while being part of the Malaysian Hockey Federation. Aryna Sabalenka bludgeoned her way to a maiden Grand Slam title at the Australian Open with a 4-6, 6-3, 6-4 win over Kazakh 22nd seed Alina Rybakina in a thrilling final between two of the most exciting power hitters in the women's game. Rybakina went up 3-1 with a comfortable hold after 5th seed Sabalenka dropped her huge serve with a double fault and sent a forehand long, but the Kazakhs came under pressure and allowed her opponent to level the opening set at 4-all. Rybakina hit back immediately, however, turning up the heat and rolled over Arena to grab another break as Sabalenka double faulted for a 5th time and going on to seal the set with a big serve that the Belarusian returned into the net. It was the first time that Sabalenka had dropped a set in 11 matches this year, and the nerves began to show just a bit before the 24-year-old composed herself and served 2 breakpoints in the opening game of the next set. Sabalenka then found a bit of consistency to break but had to overcome a wobble to grab a 4-1 lead, after which she levelled the match with her 11th and 12th aces to take the match to a third set. Sabalenka served with venom and hammered deep returns in the decider to punch holes through Rybakina's defence for a 5-3 lead. She then double-faulted on one match point and squandered 2 more before finally prevailing to claim the trophy. Myanmar tumbled to a 1-0 to 1-all draw against visiting Eintracht Frankfurt early today to leave them with only a slim Bundesliga lead after being held for the third time in a row with the same scoreline. Bayern looked sharper than their opponents in the first half and went in front when Leroy Sen riffled in from a Thomas Müller assist in the 34th minute. Frankfurt defended well in the second half, but were largely anonymous until Dutchy Kamada fed Randall Kolo Muani in the box, and the forward beat France teammate Dayo Upamecano in a 1-on-1 to drill in a 69th minute equaliser with his 7th league goal this season. The Bavarians, chasing a record-extending 11th straight league title, had a treble chance to score before the equaliser, but eventually ran out of gas against fellow Champions League club Frankfurt. The result left reigning champions 1 point ahead of second place Union Berlin. Midfielder Pedri celebrated his 100th match for Barcelona as he earned his side a stance 1-0 victory at Girona, opening a 6-point gap ahead of Real Madrid at the top of La Liga. Despite having almost 70% of possession in the first half, Barcelona struggled to break the deadlock against Girona's low block. It was not until the 40th minute that Barca had their first shot on target when Pedri's team strike was easily held by the goalkeeper. Girona were remarkably disciplined in defence, remaining compact in a deep position, comfortably defending the space in front of goal to frustrate Barcelona's forwards. Pedri eventually broke the deadlock, pouncing as keeper Paulo Gazzaniga could not gather a low cross, leaving the Barca midfielder free to tap home at the far post. Girona had an Arnau Martinez effort ruled out in the 65th minute and wasted a golden opportunity to equalise in the 88th when Ivan Martin missed a sitter from close range as they made a late push for a point. Barcelona finished the match with only 3 shots on target, having made the most of their only clear opportunity. Barcelona are top of the standings on 47 points, 6 ahead of bitter rivals Real Madrid, who have given a game in hand. Girona are 12th on 21 points. With that, we end today's updates at noon. In our top story, employers and foreign workers urged to avoid work permit forgery ring. Tune in to News at 10 coming up at 10 p.m. on my previewed on Berita RTM, channel 123. Here's a clip of costume dancers from countries across the Balkans gathered in Bulgaria for an international masquerade festival. Thank you for watching. I'm Nura Zambri and have a pleasant Sunday.